Go.
All right, here we are. This is Bonafide Mike with episode 2 of Just Two People Talking, and this is for all you music lovers out there. Today we're going to be talking to local musician Carlos Taboada. He's a entrepreneur. He's got some records out too, CDs. He plays live. He's done it all. He's a Renaissance man. There we go. So anyway, I guess we should start off with your beginnings in music. How did you start playing music? How did you become the musician that you are? Did you listen to music as a kid? How did you get turned on to the music?
Well, probably the Osmonds. There you go, the first boy band that there was. When I was about 10 or 12, I thought everybody could sing. And so I was just doing what was fun, and I just thought everybody could do it. But later on you realize that, I think I have a bit more of a control over the tonage of my voice, and it lends itself to being a very entertaining little fellow. And so that's how I got into it. But the Osmonds were the first ones to excite my entertainment bone with their choreography and their very catchy songs, which you later find out they're all covers. I think Paul Anka did Puppy Love and stuff like that. But when you're that age, you think it's all new.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I first started. That's when I got started.
And you've seen them too, right?
I wanted to see them when they were doing the whole festival circuit, when they were going to the World's Fairs here and there. I didn't get to see them when they were at their peak, but I went to Branson about 10 or 12 years ago, and I got to see the Osmond brothers that were left without Donnie, because Donnie turned out to be pretty successful. But I think I saw Wayne was there, who just passed away, the first Osmond brother to die, and Merrill, and then Jimmy. So it was still pretty exciting. They had a decent show, but I was the youngest one there. It's like, man. But yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So what different instruments can you play?
It's weird. I can only play the drums, and I can sing. Now, for recording purposes, I have my own keyboard. It's triggered by like a garage band type of app, and I can write slowly, and I can find the chords eventually, but I don't know what they are. And once I actually record them, and thank God I can record them now. Whereas if I was writing a song 30 years ago on the way home, I couldn't remember it, and I couldn't remember what key it was in or what notes I was playing. But once I record it now, I forget it. So it's actually me playing, but it's like having a form of dementia afterwards. So I couldn't play it again, but there it is, and it usually turns out pretty good.
Well, that's pretty cool. What was your first recording though, and where did you record it at?
The first actual recording I did at a studio called UAR, United Artists Recordings. It was off of something view, Ridge View, over there by the medical center. But it was the one that Michael Morales bought.
Really?
Yeah. And they were really known for their jingles and stuff, but Michael was working there, running the stuff, and I think from what I heard, Michael Morales would work on his own album like after hours. So that was the first studio I recorded at with his brother Ronnie. We did a Christian song that I wrote called Give It Up, which got airplay on a station called KSLR back then, Sunlight Radio, KSLR. And then that was the first one I had recorded, the first one I put on vinyl, 7-inch. But I wanted to show how versatile I was. So on the other side, I did a dance version of Tommy James, Some Kind of Wonderful. Or no, Tommy James, Dragging the Line, Grand Funk, Some Kind of Wonderful medley.
Oh, there you go.
Which confused the Christian people when they wanted to buy the side A, because there was this secular song on side B. And I think it baffled secular people because they're like, well, there's a Christian song on the other side. So, lesson learned. There's a lot of those going around, and a lot of sometimes a friend of mine will send me a picture on Facebook. Look what I found at a bargain bin. And they'll show me that.
Well, what was the first band you were in, or did you start out in a band, or were you always just a solo artist?
No, I was playing drums at church. I didn't consider that a band. But when I worked at Sound Warehouse, which is where you and I met
Yes.
years ago, a friend of mine from church, his name was Andy King, came into Sound Warehouse. I'd known Andy because his dad was Jackie King, who played with Willie Nelson. Andy was a guitar player too, and he came in and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just working. What are you doing?" Hadn't seen him in years. He goes, "We need a drummer, and you're going to be our new drummer." I said, "Who's us?" And there was a band called Firefox. Back in the day, they competed with bands like Innocent Bystander and The Secret. Changing Faces, I think, was another band. But we did a lot of out-of-town gigs. We were kind of a country rock band. And I started playing drums in this band very nervously because I'd never played drums in a band. First time I used electronic drums was a Casio set. Casio, they make watches. And it turned out okay. It broke me in. They were old pads, so they were double triggering. I would hit the snare once, you'd hear 2 hits come out. And it was a little nightmarish, but once you get the taste of the stage, you know, with all those people, drunk or sober, loving you, man, that's almost where you want to live.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Was the Max around at that time too?
I think Michael and the Max was much bigger than Firefox. Michael Morales was a showman, you know, from a young age. So he was like going to see a Vegas show, you know, cover band, I believe, but he also did some originals, from what I hear. I never went to see him, but yeah, they were around back then. I think the Clocks also.
Okay, well, what were some of your major influences that maybe you've taken from or used melodies or incorporated that in your style of music?
I think style-wise, which may or may not be good for me, because Jeff Smith from the Hickoids has heard some of my stuff, and he goes, "Man, you got to pick a lane," because I like all kinds of music, so I record all kinds of music, and I enjoy it. So I followed the path of Todd Rundgren, who you and I were talking about earlier. At a certain point, I started going to a church school, Church of Castle Hill School, and it became Cornerstone later, but I was out by then. And they were showing some videos. They would show us videos of how rock music is evil and backwards masking is going to get you. And you know, we sat and saw this video, and at the end they said, now the ultimate thing that's happening now is they're having altar calls to Satan. And then they played a Todd Rundgren song, Healing, off the Healing album. It was called Healer. And it was designed to scare everybody, but all I heard was these beautiful melodies in it and chords. I'm like, oh my God, is this the same guy that did Hello, It's Me back in the day? So it backfired on them. I had to go out and buy that album, which was $3.99 in the reduced record bins at Sound Warehouse. So that's where I collected all my Todd stuff from the reduced record bin until Rhino got a hold of it and reissued all of it.
Was that now, out of all the shows you've done with different, I guess, bands or solo, what are some of your favorite shows that you played that you thought, wow, now that's really cool? Like you were really happy with the performance or how the show went? Anything stand out?
I think in a word, in general, spontaneity. These other bands, some of them had props for certain songs, and I thought that was really cool. Now, other guys in the band, they didn't like it. That wasn't purist to them. They wanted to do rock and roll. They wanted to be up there with the guitar and be featured and seen, and people were listening and really getting into it. I like the costumes. I like the songs, but when you're propelling the energy of a song with a costume or a little play at the beginning or something weird, when I discovered the Residents, I don't know if you've heard of the Residents.
Seen them.
Yeah, it's the guys that have the eyeballs for heads
Yeah.
at one time. Now they're all over the board. But
Yeah, I saw them at Stubbs in Austin.
yeah, that I saw them one time, and I'd been waiting to see them, and that was a show. And the costumes, the weirdness, really weird. And I realized that I love that, and I can't explain it to friends. I can't explain it to friends that like let's say, Bon Jovi or even the Romantics or whoever. These bands that just come out and play, they're good, but after a while you're just listening to the music and they're just guys up there playing. But
Yeah, they're not going to get it.
yeah, if they put on a show, they've got my attention.
That reminds me of one of the videos I saw that you had on there with the foil on your head and
yeah.
that makeup, and some of those I saw that video, that tower, and is that what the creative part of it? I didn't understand it, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And so I see what you mean by when you're saying you can be a fan of the Residents, because those videos, when I saw them, I was like, what is going on here?
Right. Yeah. So I wrote this song called Tower, and I thought, what happens if you wrote a song about the Tower of the Americas? I mean, it's not a romance song or anything, but it's about a guy who sees it as this big god, this concrete god. And so I wrote this song called Tower, and I thought it was going to be my last. I thought after this I'm going to get out of music, as most musicians say every year. After this I'm just done with it. So I said, put as much quirkiness into the video as you can. So I found these things. I wrapped my head in tinfoil, I believe, and then I put on like a kind of a coat and a tie, and I found these things at the restoration store that were like hands, but they were these rubber things that actually are used for electricity or something like that. So I put those on as my hands, and we shot the video, and then I edited the video. And
Okay, that was downtown, I guess, because you see the tower in the background.
so yeah, I took some back shots of the tower, and then there's a little club downtown that's hidden that has a little replica of the tower. It's about 10 feet high, and it's permanently on the front of their little bar. So one Sunday when they were closed, we went over there and shot some footage there, which you see in the video. And I thought it was a really catchy tune. I still like it. A lot of people think it's weird, and I'm like, they don't understand that feeds me.
Yeah, no,
I like that you think it's weird, because it's supposed to be weird.
yeah, because I saw it and I'm like, I had to watch it a few times, and but it was very interesting. I mean, I can see where the eclectic part comes in.
Yeah.
So how many albums do you have, or CDs do you have out? I know you made is it a Tex-Mex one, and
Like they see, so for a while there, I was signed with Freddie Records out of Corpus.
mm-hmm.
So I got 2 CDs recorded with that studio, which I later combined into one. So I've got that one. My very first CD was a Christian CD of a lot of songs that I wrote. That was right after I was in the church school and stuff like that. I was very inspired and influenced there. I got Tex Bop, which is a collection of covers from the 50s that are done more high energy. And I got a lot of guest artists on there singing with me on songs that some of them are now past, like Ernie Garibay and Rudy T. And then one just showed up on Spotify about 3 days ago called the Kindergarten Dropout. It's another compilation. It's 70s, late 60s and early 70s songs now that are done up high energy. And now I'm working on some original stuff. Actually, I was working on the original stuff parallel to releasing this other CD. So some of the original stuff is now being played on KSAP, and soon to be played on like KSYM. And I don't know, I feel more comfortable there. I've never wanted to be exactly like the Osmonds, being played all over the world and every radio station. but I like the more quirky feel where you can hear it on college radio.
Is that kind of how you gravitated towards Todd? Because his music is, there's a lot of things that are all over the place. Is that what drew you to him? Like his songwriting, or his I guess way of thinking for music, like not wanting to be put in a certain box.
Pigeonhole. Yeah, when I like what I said, when I heard that one that we shouldn't be listening to, which was called Healer, I compared it to, I knew he had a hit called Hello It's Me, which is, I love that song, but they were so different. So then when I went and I discovered more Todd albums, and then Utopia, his band, I realized this guy's doing exactly what he wants to do. He's not going to get stuck on one song genre, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. He's singing about some very weird things, or some things you wouldn't normally hear. And the melodies are great, the hooks, they really draw you in. And he doesn't have these hardcore, big, huge audiences. But the smaller audience fans that he have, man, they're dedicated. They're waiting for the next Todd album, and they show up to every show. And sometimes they'll bring the kids, and they'll discover Todd. But yeah, you never see an empty place where Todd's playing.
No, what are some of your favorite songs that he does? Like what are some of your favorite tracks?
Well, I like Hello It's Me. I really like what's the other one? It's We Gotta Get You a Woman. That was, I think, his first hit on Ampex Records. There's one I discovered that I guess was a hit, but it passed me by, and I didn't discover it till later. A Dream Goes On Forever.
Oh, that's a great song.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't have made any difference for those watching. If they don't know Todd, they don't know what he's talking about. But discover these things if you can. Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs that he has is from the Nearly Human, that Fidelity.
Oh yeah,
that song. That's a great album, and it doesn't get any kind of acclaim.
Right.
And it's classic Todd too. There's nothing weird or different on it, but it's a great album. So
yeah, I think it was the first one that he was on with Warner Brothers, right? Where they paid for the tour, which is a nice tour, and very polished album. And I like polished. Todd can do polished, but sometimes he does some of the stuff that I really like because it's not as polished. It's more kind of lo-fi sometimes. But if you're a fan, you're waiting for this stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cool though. So it sounds like you've been well-rounded in all types of music too. But are there any clubs that you played around here that you like better?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I like them better. I mean, right now I have a little cover band called the Cosmic Cruisers, spelled with K's, all of it, and some Z's in there. And we play Sancho's. Now, if people are watching this video 10 years now from when we do it, and Sancho's isn't there anymore, this is all antiquated stuff we're talking about. Now they're watching Flying Cars and stuff like that. But Sancho's is a place we do every first Friday. This is a good club. I like clubs that have bands where you can be a bit intimate, where you're close to them, and they don't have a big stage. I mean, Sam's Burger Joint's okay, but that's a big stage, you know, and I guess you can feel like a big star when you're up there. It's a great venue, but I'd rather be a little. Well, I guess that's about as big as I like them right there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your future plans now? What's on the horizon here for 2025?
Well, I can't give away too much detail, but I'll be doing a couple of songs in the near future, possibly at the Tobin Center. But that's supposed to be a secret, so don't tell anyone. What else? Recording. I'm still recording now. I've moved towards more originals, and originals is scary because you're introducing an audience to songs they've never heard before, and it's not like, you know, like KTSA or KONO is still around where they can play them over and over twice an hour and get people familiar. These songs can be heard a lot of times for the first time at the club where we're playing them. But I'm going to move towards more of what weighs on my heart, lyrically and musically. So that's what's going on. I want to shoot more videos that are weird. Thanks for telling me that, because that's what I like to hear.
That's cool. So do you have any advice for anybody that wants to start a band or playing music now, because that AI is like taking over everything? And is it better to stay organic and just play it real instead of fake it with an AI?
I don't like AI. I think it's going to be the killer of a lot of things. I mean, before it came out and there was still like TikTok and stuff, I would watch some videos, mostly of people doing cool tricks or something. And there were some videos where I would say, oh, that's fake. Now, I don't know if anything's real because it's saturated with the AI stuff. And right now I can still tell that it's AI, but they're going to fix those glitches, and you're going to think that somebody's walking the tightrope across 2 buildings in New York when it's just all AI. And I think it takes, if you take the wonder out of it, like, oh, I wonder if that's real. That's got to be fake. It can't be. Now, you can't be sure if anything is real. So I'm against it. There's a lot of people that love it. A lot of people use it for their music videos too. I don't like it. As far as people doing music, if I could tell them something, I would say it's not over until you're dead. That's when it's over. But until then, you've got nothing but time. So do what you want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll end this on a high note, as they say. So what is the best way people can keep track of you or see what you're doing, or shows, releases?
So the best way is I've got everything on my home address is the Karloz Experience. Now, Karloz is spelled Karloz. So it's thekarlozexperience.com, and you can find videos there, songs, music. You can download stuff, dates when I'm playing, pictures. Yeah, you can go there. Karloz, Karloz, thekarlozexperience.com.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, thanks for taking a little bit of your time to talk to us and give us your thoughts, and everything that you said about music is pretty much right on. So thanks again for spending a little bit of time and visiting with us on this channel. So I guess we'll be looking forward to see what's coming up in the future here for you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Karloz.
This was fun. Thank you.